All right. Well, with all of us here, well, we'll give Joe a moment to join us in the Roll20.
Oh yeah, the Roll20. Sorry, give me a second.
I did have blank character sheets put up, but if we import from Demiplane, I do feel like in this instance that will be easier and better because they have a whole very thorough and detail oriented, but also quick and easy way to make characters on there. So
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely the way to go. I've played around with it a lot.
I made one character just playing around with it. It was before I had read as much into the system details, the mechanics of everything.
Hmm.
And I was going to kind of move through the character creation paces with you guys to whatever extent that may or may not be. Um, I see Joe mentioned in the chat there that filled out character sheet, and you just said that you've been playing with the creator, so
Yeah, I mean,
as much or as
I've
little
made
as.
one, but I'm totally open to making changes if it fits the story or whatever needs to happen, you know?
Okay. Um, so when it comes to that, um, because we'll be playing an introductory module, let me post this up in the Discord because it'll copy paste better. Roll20's chat is wonky sometimes. So this is kind of the introduction to that module. And it's open enough to where you can be anyone from anywhere with any background, but to bear in mind the specific role that you might play when the adventure begins is where we want to cross the bridge from your childhood to who you are now and why you are where you're going to be, which is near the Shattered Plains,
Hmm.
be working for a High Prince of Alethkar. Do please bear with me. I know that you guys are familiar with the world from having read the books themselves by Sanderson. I have not. I have started listening to the first book on the what is the app called? The audiobook app.
Audible?
Audible, thank you.
Audible. Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
um, but it's usually when I'm like going to bed and I can kind of focus on what I'm listening to, and then I'll fall asleep and I'll have to go back and find
Yeah, and they're
where I
slower paced. It
remember.
takes some time.
It does, yeah. Um,
I think Wind in Truth was 62 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot for sure. But in reading through like the handbook, the Welcome to Roshar book, which is kind of like a travel pamphlet, really, with pretty
Yep.
pictures. Um,
Hmm.
I've got a general flavor. Um, I've created a YouTube playlist where I'm like watching videos and adding to it about the lore of the world and stuff. When it comes to spoilers in the books, because of my position, I don't have
Hmm.
the luxury of avoiding that. So you guys are welcome to discuss events, characters, and etc. I may not be familiar with it yet, but don't worry about spoiling something for me because I'm going to read something in the lore of like a country or a major character, and it's just going to happen. Like when the books get there, I'll be like, oh, that guy or that place. And
Sure.
maybe I know more than even the characters there because it's grown since their own progression. Anyway, I digress. Just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. Please don't worry about spoilers because I'm already going to be spoiled.
Okay.
Um,
Joe, how far have you read, just for context?
I've, as of this last week, finished literally every audiobook available in Stormlight.
Sweet. And I've read the whole Cosmere, so I'm here for it.
nice.
I haven't gotten the whole Cosmere, but I have read the first book of Warbreaker, and then I've read all of um, the Mistborn series. Um, I've read what else? It was Elantris, I think, but I read that one a really long time ago
Hmm.
before I even realized that it was part of the Cosmere.
As a
Sweet.
note, you guys probably saw, but Mistborn as a dedicated setting is marked as
Oh
coming
yeah.
soon.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I had heard that they were going to be expanding all of this quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I
That'd be so
really
cool.
am super impressed with it. I would love this treatment to be given to the World of the Sword of Truth series. That's my favorite fictional
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
series,
I don't know
world,
if I know
etc.
that one.
It
Is that a book
is.
series?
It is, yes. By Terry Goodkind. First book is called Wizard's First Rule, unless you count the prequel things, but don't worry about that. Um, yeah, it's a fantastic series. Pretty nice world. The author does get preachy at times, and so sometimes through the main character, they espouse a little bit of Ayn Randian
Ayn Randian,
philosophy.
yes.
Um, that happens more so late in later books, and it doesn't detract. It's really typically too like relevant to the setting and situation, so it's not like he's just trying to preach a way of life.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think
sometimes it
any good
feels that way.
series will have a moral to it where you have to get preachy at some point. So I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, there are once in a while some questionable adult goings on, but yeah, you can read through them and get through it. Um, I just like to give that disclaimer. I don't know where everybody's sensibilities lie. We'll touch on
Yeah,
that a little bit too regarding campaign tone and stuff, but
sure.
yeah, fantastic series. My favorite. Anyway, my main thing is like in a world that is so well realized, when the flora and the fauna and the magic system are incredibly unique, they are
Hmm.
very well defined, fitting to the world. Like the way that plants behave actually
Hmm.
fits if they had evolved in a world where storms come from the east
Yeah,
on
Yep.
very often. And yeah, so
And they're all like hurricane level storms, right? Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
heavy. And yeah,
Yep.
so I'm absolutely falling in love with the setting before I can even get into the characters and their stories. Like, hats off to Mr. Sanderson for all of the depth applied. I appreciate it when they take it seriously and they make like a living, breathing world. And it makes me excited to dive in on my side of the
Yeah.
screen. It's super cool that you guys are familiar because your side of the screen, you'll have some preconceived notions and expectations and familiarities. Um, and I expect you guys to be cool when it comes to like out of game knowledge compared to in character. Like I am all for you saying, "Oh, hey, that's the place that so and so went to in book 4 and dealt with this stuff." That is all stuff that has happened in the past as far as where things are picking up. So it can be common history. Whether or not your character knows that, don't hold back if you just want to reference something out of enthusiasm for the setting, the books, etc.
Wait. Yeah, I've read through the Stonewalkers handbook because I'm planning on running that with some buddies of mine, but haven't read
Ah.
anything for Bridge 9, so I actually know nothing.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I also haven't read anything from Bridge 9.
Awesome. It's designed to both introduce the system and the world, so it'll be of benefit to all of us to just kind of start creating some muscle memory in regards to both things. I've
Yep.
found that the system itself is remarkably close enough to 5e as far as how it plays out that the learning curve should be easy for all of us. There
Yeah, I
was
don't think it's
nothing that
too
struck me
terrible.
as being like really confusing or really contrary, as it were. Full disclosure, I have not memorized every talent of every class and path and every ability.
How dare you?
I'm not familiar with every single type of screen. Yeah, I'm still growing into it. Um, before our first session, like I've been doing a lot of research, and that's just going to continue on. And I want to embrace the lore. I like to be a know-it-all. I feel like it's kind of my job, but bear with me, and definitely don't feel bad if you want to chime in with the detail or correct a misconception of mine, because it is new.
All good. I think we're all learning on this one.
Right, yeah. Well, it's a new enough system, yeah. As a side note, there was another player who expressed interest on Roll20, and I haven't heard back from them, so they might join in between now and our first session. And
Sweet.
of course, you'll see those
Cool.
updates happen. I definitely don't mind running with 2 players if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, I just want to hop into the world.
Right?
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
I would much rather start sooner than later.
Yeah.
On a side note, we might as well tackle, would you guys prefer doing weekly or bi-weekly? I don't know about schedules. I don't know about available like expendable finances and stuff. So I don't want you guys to be forced into too much. Or on the other hand, if both of you would definitely prefer the weekly, I don't want you hanging on waiting for too long between sessions. So do you guys have a vote in that regard? I'm really open to either.
I would desire to do weekly. I would be afraid I might have too many schedule conflicts.
Okay.
So I could make it work, but I'm kind of in between, if that makes sense.
Sure, sure.
I do bi-weekly with the other stuff, so it doesn't matter too much to me, I suppose. Like, it's not weird to do bi-weekly for me. But I'm excited enough about the world that I also wouldn't mind doing weekly. What if we just start as weekly, and if we end up having too many schedule conflicts, we can back it off, maybe?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that works for me.
I am 100% down with that. So then, what I will be aiming for then, we've got 2 more Saturdays of the month. So yeah, if you guys are down, um, next Saturday we can have our session 1, following Saturday session 2, and just roll forward as such.
Yeah, let me double check on my calendar. But yeah, that's good for me.
All right,
Oh,
awesome.
we do have a family. We have a family. Oh, never mind. We're good. Daytime. We're good.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
And I can always be flexible too. I'm not tied to any particular time frame. So if it's better for you guys to start later or earlier, let me know. I can accommodate anything across the board.
Sweet.
All right, cool. So that will cover. So we've got get set up for weekly. Um, as far as I wanted to touch on the game tone, safety requirements, if any, off limits topics, etc. The world itself, even the religion, the major religion condones slavery. There's a caste system based on eye color. I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know from having experienced the worlds yourselves. Um, but there are some questionable things. For me personally, there are some lines I won't cross. So I encourage you to explore romance if you're into that. If you want to take a winch upstairs, or even if you like bring flowers to your wife and it's an amorous night, I'm going to fade to black before things get weird. So no tongue-in-cheek rolls for Constitution stuff. Like, we might joke about it. I understand vernacular can get cheeky, but I'm never going to depict things like that. Very, very clearly detail-oriented, obviously. Also, child abuse and sex crimes, for me, pretty much don't exist. The most that you might see is like, if there's a knight who's rude to a squire, he might, smack him in the back of the head or something. That is as far as any kind of child abuse I would go with. And again, sex crimes just don't exist in my worlds. I don't want to go there. There's enough darkness in the real world. This is a place of escape. We don't have to get that nitty gritty and weird about stuff. Some people like to play that stuff out, and that's cool. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say, in this world, let's collectively pretend that those most heinous of crimes don't cross people's minds because they have bigger concerns like storms and war and etc.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
So that being said, if there's anything either of you feel should be off limits, or addressed as such, please feel free to share. If there's something personal that you don't want to address, but you don't want to talk about it publicly, you can write me personally. Um, an example to give, um, my dad committed suicide, and for a long time, suicide was just an off limits topic for me. If it was even mentioned, I'd crawl into my shell and be sad about it for a long time. I've gotten numb to it over time, so I'm good now. But things like that, just as an example, if there's anything that you want to not have come up or not have any kind of like repressed feelings, flashbacks, things like that, please do let me know either now publicly or in personal message.
That's actually mine.
Okay,
Mentioning it's cool. Graphic depictions, I'd rather not. So like, if it's a story thing and a character, takes their own life, cool, that makes sense. Just I don't want to think about the details.
all right, that's fair. Yeah, you have my sympathies, obviously, in that regard.
Thanks.
Um, yeah. How about for you, Joe? Anything come to mind?
Mm, nothing in particular. Like um, I don't really see the need to go into any sort of gritty details about very many sort of dark topics like that. Abuse or suicide or anything of those topics. So if there are some fade to black moments, I think that that's preferable. But there isn't a
Sure.
specific topic for me. Most of my issues have all been worked out by the counselors, so we're good.
All right, fair enough. And of course, if something comes up later, like this isn't an end all set in stone thing, so if something happens later, don't hesitate to write or even call it out on the spot and be like, hey, whoa, we're starting to step into something that I don't want to smell. like,
Wait.
um, so that having been covered, um, now all of that aside, I try not to use a lot of profanity. Sometimes it slips depending on my mood or the setting or whatever. Joe might know this because of games that he plays. Um, and I try to shy away from being the instigator when it comes to like off-color humor. That being
Mhm.
said, I personally swear a lot in my own daily life, and I have a very dark sense of humor without filters. It's just not professional for me to be the first one to pop off with that. I
Yeah.
don't want you guys to feel limited. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of an open field. Maybe avoid the things that I've talked about being not happening in game. Um, like somebody the other day in the Marvel game wanted to give somebody the nickname Epstein as a mischaracterization of Einstein. I was like, let's not have that name be a regular occurrence. Like, how about
Yeah.
no? Little things like that. Like, we can kind of chuckle at it, but not let it linger, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And I ain't
Sure.
trying to get canceled.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, sometimes it goes
I
without saying, but go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say I do tend to let loose a profanity or two. So um, if it bothers you, I could hold back.
No,
So,
I'm cool with everything but derogatory like language.
yeah,
Otherwise, I'm good to go.
Right.
for me, the only words off limit are the N word and the C word, if that helps. Besides that,
Can I throw
I
the
can
the
handle a
gay F
lot.
word out there too?
Ah, yes. Yeah, there are things like I used it a lot when I was younger, or like
Yeah.
the word retard. I used a lot when I
Yeah.
was younger.
Language
Colloquially,
changes. Yeah.
um, and society changes. What was once tolerable, like locker room talk or whatever, if you want to call it, give it a, some kind of softer nickname. Things that used to be okay aren't okay anymore. And I am great with embracing the evolution as such. So good call there. There are certain things that we should just let lay in the past.
Yeah. I used to be a teacher, and my with my high schoolers, my like one rule was like, you can drop the F bomb, I don't care. Just don't be a dick. Don't hurt somebody with your words. So
Right.
Yeah. Context, I think, yeah. has a lot to do with it. All right, cool. So those are I just like to kind of address those things, make sure that there's like an open, comfortable forum right away. Generally, people at the game tables that I have get along and interact very well. So I'm blessed in that, knock on wood. All right, so with that having been covered, um, of course, I did mention the introductory adventure. Um, I'm still in between on the other module as far as running the Stonewalkers adventure. I kind of want
Hmm.
to, and I don't care if you know about stuff in advance. Can always tweak stuff, personalize it, etc. But as far as in general, just to get a sense, if we happen to go off the beaten path or throwing in extra stuff, do you guys have a preference for combat over role playing? Do you like an even mix? Is there a certain tone or approach? Anything spring to mind under that umbrella when it comes to the campaign as a whole? Kind of what you want to see, experience, etc.
I
For
feel like.
me, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, I feel like the scene or just based on the tone of the books, there's going to be a lot of role play and a
Yes.
little bit less combat.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did
I don't know
great
if
at
I'm
that.
yeah, I don't know if I'm an experienced enough RPG player to really have an opinion yet. I've only played one like 5e campaign.
Okay.
Uh, but uh, I enjoy combat, and I tend to design my characters to be similar to my introverted self, so I don't have to like try so hard. So I'll role play, but I don't tend to make role play heavy characters, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely does. Yeah, that's something that usually, I think that's kind of a natural evolution of getting into a tabletop. It's easier to kind of embrace the mechanics, which are usually heavily focused on the combat interactions. My own path, I used to build a lot more combat oriented, number crunch, min max, and stuff. Whereas now, because I've played that out, now I tend to play more. I don't want to necessarily say cerebral. Sometimes it's fun to play the idiot barbarian, but like characters that bring more to the table than just their sword, I guess. Um, but it also comes to two roles in the party. Like if you're more comfortable with a character who is combat focused and stuff, you're playing somebody who's more of a warrior soldier type, then that opens the door for other players in the group to be like, okay, if you're our strong guy, I can be our talker guy, focusing more on charisma than strength, that
Mhm.
sort of thing. Um, and those aren't actual attributes in this game. Forgive me, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I did find myself whenever I was thinking of a character, and this I think because I love the lore so much more, I found myself picking things based on character rather than what I think how it would serve me in combat. So maybe that'll be
Oh,
different this
nice.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, I did sort of the same thing. Like I kind of sort of thought about how I wanted to do combat, but most of my energy was spent on like, okay, how do I make this character fit into the lore? How do I make it, not necessarily break canon? It might not be perfectly canon, but
Okay.
not break canon, that sort of a stuff.
Right.
And so there's a lot that went into the story aspect of it. And uh, I with all my other ones, the other two that I've done, I like to go for the like, oh, I'll pick an interesting character to play, and I'll do a voice, and then whatever happens after that just sort of happens. If it's good in combat, it's good in combat. If it's not, it's not. Whatever, as long as it's slightly useful.
Okay, cool. And because the magic system unique in this system in this world, um, you don't get that evolution until level two. Do either of you have those ambitions? Or are you thinking of being more scholarly or martially based? is that something to be taken into consideration now or eventually?
Yes.
I would like to explore radiant paths. Yeah.
Okay, cool. There is, God, it's so cool. The more that I read about the world and the system, the more I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And there are so many different paths, even in just the Radiant chapter with their own special abilities. Like, it's overwhelming to me since it's all coming in new, but in a good way. Like, falling into a
Mhm.
candy store. Oh, there's so much good.
I couldn't imagine reading this from the handbook before having read the books. Just the info dump must be amazing.
Yeah.
It is but that's what's making me fall in love with the world is it's so well thought out and realized that
Yeah.
Well,
it
and you
falls naturally.
the interesting thing about Sanderson is that he doesn't like to explain the entire world in the first book or in the
Oh
first,
yeah.
anything. It wasn't until like book 4 where I was like, oh, I think I'm finally starting to understand like this world and like all the different pieces and most of the questions sort of started to get answered. But like every book, it's just they give you just a little bit more of a piece. Like oh, there's some magic, but where did this magic come from? I don't know.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
I kind of thought as I was reading, like this guy's flying by the seat of his pants, kind of making stuff up as he
right,
goes. But then I finished it, and in hindsight, it makes way too much sense.
right.
So I've actually been watching his lectures on writing, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting. And you can see the way that that is represented in the game system, the way that you're specifically rewarded for completing goals and stuff. Like you're
Yeah.
encouraged to have a character arc. Like he talks about a character having three aspects, like capability and relatability, and I forget the other one, but like they're on a scale, and different characters usually are really good at one thing, not so great on another, and then they kind of have an arc of growth in the third. And then also
Hmm.
too, he talks about outlining versus discovery writing, where how much you plan ahead versus how much you sit down and just kind of flow from the brain. Like Stephen King is anti-outlining. Other authors do a ton of outlining. So I can
Hmm.
kind of see where you mean about like it feels like things are made up as you go, like that's kind of discovery writing. But then too, looking back, there's definitely a structure, and he's really adamant about making like goalposts, fulfilling promises.
Hmm.
And anyway, I digress. Great stuff if you're into fiction writing. It's cool to crawl inside the mind and get that insight.
Oh yeah,
I digress.
absolutely.
So, when it comes to your characters, in regards to where the starting point is going to be in our introductory adventure, you'll see where it says ask each player to share the role their character is playing in this expedition. Because you're starting off at Bridge 9, falling into the bridge crew is easy if one of the other ones doesn't fit, but your character could have a different role, a different intent in being there. I would definitely encourage us to be there and be together, whether or not you know each other very well, we can cover later, but at least kind of have set why you're there, what you're doing, what that role is.
Hmm.
Um, have, I'll give you a moment if you haven't had a chance to read up on those, but if you do kind of know what role you would fit into there at the bridge, amongst the bridge crew, etc., please do share.
I think the easiest for the background that I came up with is the bridge crew, only because the others don't really fit. But I might could change things around and make it work. I'm still reading through.
Um, yes, I didn't get a chance to read all of this, but is this like where is this setting in time? Is this prior to their bridge cruise? So it's got to be
It's got
like
to be in the first two books if there's bridge
yeah, the first two
crews.
books. So then um it's hard to not then put myself in the rock position. Um, either bridge crew or maybe guard.
Okay. And that can be a mercenary style of service, so you don't necessarily
Yeah,
have to be an enlisted soldier of
yeah.
the High Prince or
So
the nation.
maybe if I tell you about the character that I put together, maybe you could help put me into a good spot.
Okay.
Um, I am a horn eater, and my name is Loon for short. Although my full name is Luna Makani Akivaka. Yeah, Luna Makani Akivaka. Yep.
Could you type
Yeah, I
that
had to have
into
AI
the
come up with
chat?
that.
Could you type that into the chat and I can copy paste it into my notes?
Yes. Here, I'll just type.
When you say chat,
Oh,
would you rather us use Discord or Roll20 chat?
Roll20 for small things is preferred. Discord for multiple
Sweet.
paragraphs.
oh, okay. Let me get to Roll20 then. So, in the books, the Horn Eaters generally have very poetic names. Their names mean something, and then they go and they meet up with lowlanders, and the lowlanders can't pronounce their names, so they give them like one syllable. They give themselves one syllable nicknames that
Okay.
everybody goes by.
Like
So
Rock.
everybody's like Rock. So it is everybody's gonna call me Loon. Um, but essentially, Loon was a third son in the Horn Eater culture. Your role in your clan is determined by birth order. So the first son is the Pneumatoma. He's the leader. He's the future patriarch. The second son is the warrior, the fighter. The third son is the craftsman.
Okay.
So Loon was a craftsman. He was a smith. And then there was an attack, and his two older brothers died. And being um, the most elder at that point, thrust him into the first son category. And so he's just
Mm.
flying by the seat of his pants, trying to figure out how to do this thing because his clan needs him to. So they've sent him on a mission to essentially grow himself as a leader and
Okay.
learn as much as he can about the rest of the world and that sort of stuff.
I like that. Coming of age again.
Right, right.
I also like too the crafting system. I couldn't tell you again the specific numbers, but I was reading through that, and I just appreciate that they took time to address it as a thing and then provide some details. And
Hmm.
I really like that depending on how well you craft it, there can be most of the time there's some kind of setback, like the item is fragile or doesn't look
Mm-hmm.
very pretty, or things like just little tiny details that speckle in that flavor. And I see it all over the place. I just absolutely love it. Anyway, I don't know if you have taken crafting expertise or anything like that because of that background, but if you have, that is cool, and I look forward to that being implemented.
I believe I did. Now I know I just did it like an hour ago, and now I can't remember. Um, and now
um,
I don't know where to look on my sheet. Goals, rewards, equipment details, journals, actions.
well, your main path, I think the scholar has the best basis in doing crafting, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I chose leader.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, but that was mostly because he's got to try to be a leader.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't know, scholar felt weird for the kind of character that I was trying to portray. So
fair enough.
um, let's see.
Well, also, too, if you have an expertise in, like, say, heavy weapons, you're assumed to be able to maintain and even craft those, all things considered. just by the way of the rules of the system.
Mm-hmm.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So you guys should be able to, and if not, I will have to go and change settings. Let's figure out. You should be able to add a character from the journal page, and then choose to. If you click the drop-down arrow, there's an option for link demi-plane character.
I think it's thinking.
Yeah, mine is too.
It might take some time, especially too, depending on your own system. I know that I have a little bit of lag. I am now seeing Kivesh, and please
Yep,
correct me if I'm not pronouncing that right, but
that's
I'm
it.
seeing Kivesh there. Let me add that into my notes here. That's a cool name. Let's see
Thank you.
what happens when I open up that sheet and let it spin the circle for a while
You have to,
here.
demi-plane sheets must be signed into demi-plane. If you aren't automatically signed in, please enable pop-ups. Or
Oh,
I need to enable my
I
pop-up.
I had to do something where I synced Roll20 and Demiplane before, I think.
When I logged into demi-plane, I just told it to use my Roll20 thing, but how did you sync it? Let me just...
It was a minute ago.
Oh,
I
sync
actually
accounts. Let's try that. Account
I
linking, just
actually did the
that.
same thing, so I thought it was automatically linked.
Okay, sync content. Let's try that. And maybe I need a refresh.
Yeah, because you should be able to make rolls from your demi-plane and have it show up in the Roll20. Of course, by bringing the character sheet over, opening it in Roll20 thereafter, should be able to roll directly in.
I'm gonna throw. How do I do this?
All right, so
Yes, sync content. Yes, this is the thing. Uh,
Just tweet.
save, sync successful.
all right. Bear with me, just because that's going on. Let me delete these other demi-plane characters that have attempted to come in. That way you can start fresh without a question mark.
Okay, do the
And
thing.
go like
Every
that.
time I click this, it keeps bringing up that same thing to take advantage of the demi-plane sheets. Maybe it's a pop-up issue. No, because this thing did just pop up. So like, I figure. Oh, let's try that. Ooh, this is different. Okay, okay, okay. I think we're on our way.
Excellent.
And roll
I
20
like
refused to
that.
connect.
It's always something.
Okay. Let me try refreshing this. Refreshing roll 20. Okay, we're gonna go back to journal. Link Cosmere character. Roll 20 refused to connect. What the heck? Okay, let's see.
I'm so glad to get these technical difficulties out of the way now. That way Come game day,
Yeah.
we can just dive right in. I do apologize for my lack of familiarity with the Nexus. I wish I knew how to help that cooperate better.
I think I had a chat bot help me out sync it up whenever I did it, to be honest.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my stuff. I have my Roll20 is linked. Um, yeah, it says account linked, successfully synced content.
What's that button?
It could be too like something with like an ad blocker or pop-up blocker.
Um, I I allowed my pop-up blocker, but
Okay.
I am running a browser that automatically has an ad blocker, so I do wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, I use Chrome and I have the AdBlock Plus, but it doesn't seem to interfere, at least on my side.
Joe, do you mind if I ask how you sync them, the accounts?
Yes. So first I was in the demiplane,
Hmm.
right? And there was a in the upper right hand corner, it says I'm signed in,
Yep.
and then there's an option that says sync accounts under that. It's like update billing address, sync accounts,
Okay,
notification
yeah.
preferences, right? So sync accounts, Roll20 account linking. I clicked on that, and right now it's telling me green check, account is linked.
Okay, yeah, that's what I see too. Dang,
Okay,
I
and
just
then
wanted to make sure.
I do the little blue arrow there right next to that, and it takes me to Roll20, and it's my account, and everything's good there. And on that page, it even says Demiplane account link. Your account is linked, sync content, and
Huh.
everything's synced. So that's all good there.
Yeah, that looks the
But
same on my end.
Yeah, me too.
then I go to the game, launch Cosmere game. As I do that, there's a pop-up that comes up. It thinks for a little bit, and then it goes away. Um, no other notifications or anything like that. I'm
Hmm.
no longer getting you have to uh, make your ad blocker go away or whatever, or your pop-up blocker go away. That was coming up and it's not anymore.
Hmm.
Um,
That is
so then
kooky.
I was like, we'll go to the journal. Um, and I was clicking the plus character down arrow. That's why all
Hmm.
those characters were coming in so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, But okay, now if I click the little D with the blue circle around it or whatever,
Yep.
next to the demiplane character, to try and pull something in, there's two pop-ups that come, or two windows that come up. They both think for a second, and then it just says accounts.roll20.net refused to connect, and that's it.
Huh.
That is
Uh,
very strange. I am wondering if you have to like close the browser and reopen it, if you have to like clear a cache or something that remembers the previous status. And I'm shooting in the dark because I'm not a computer tech at all.
right.
But I know sometimes if
Me,
you turn it off and turn it back on, it works.
let me try that. Um, Once more with feeling. Hey, there we go. Okay, so I figured out how to turn my ad blocker off, and that was the problem.
Aha.
I think
Hey,
it will
there's
work
Loon.
now.
All right. And if I open up the sheet, character engine updates found, spinny circle, focusing on carry, blah, blah, blah. Swearing ideals. That's nice. Cool. I can now see your character in
Sweet.
its entirety. Awesome. Alrighty.
So back to the original question of which role do you think I should play? Am I part of the bridge crew? Did I get imprisoned for something I did, or did I come down and just be like, just make me a guard, I guess?
I think it would make more sense for you to be
Maybe a
selling yourself
scholar.
into mercenary service as opposed to the bridge crew. Could certainly be in a scholarly role. I would say probably either guard or even scout. Well, you wouldn't have been trained as a messenger and outrider for the army, but you could have
Yeah,
been bought on as a mercenary. Again, because your character wants to discover more about what it takes to become a leader. If
yeah,
he appeals to that and they have a role to fill, somebody in a higher position
yeah,
might be like, well, you know how I learned it was going out into the wilderness
yeah,
and surviving. So if you can learn
yeah.
how to scout, you can
I
learn how
think
to
I
survive in a
think
pilot. So yeah, there's definitely a few different roles you can fill there, honestly, that would work.
I think probably guard. Getting myself into some sort of military service to learn to fight and learn to play a role, learn how to um, lead a team, that sort of thing is probably where he would gravitate towards.
Okay, cool. Excellente. Then I shall build off of that. So given that, you're welcome to kind of expand as necessary and as much as you desire on kind of going from A to B to Z, from home to the service within the bridge crew. Um, Now, for Kavesh, if you are part of the official bridge crew, typically falls under being imprisoned, enslaved, pressed into service.
Yeah.
Does that run contrary to your origins? Does that fit in? Do you feel
I
like you
think
should
that
maybe
could.
be? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so his general background, he's from Marabithia, which is that strip of land between the Reshi Sea and the Pure Lake. Um, and he is a yeah, right there. He's a trader. He trades between the what are they called? Taina, which are like the giant great shells in the Reshi Sea that have cities on their backs.
Yeah.
He trades between them and Aesir, so he's kind of back and forth.
Okay.
But he has my idea was him to have some kind of small humble community at home that he provides for or something like that. Um, and he began smuggling between the two to make the extra cash, extra spheres.
Mm,
Um, and that's where he would get his agent and spy uh, uh, abilities that he would have because he's an agent.
okay.
Um, and it could be a deal gone wrong that gets him enslaved or gets him jailed to take him to the Shattered Plains, or if we wanted to avoid the bridge crew thing, he could somehow be hired on as a scout, maybe for Sadius. Um, if that makes any sense.
It absolutely does. As far as so, if you would have been imprisoned, because it's also too pretty far away from, like, if you're crossing the Pure Lake a lot and going to the Reshi Sea, pretty far away from the Shattered Plains and
Yeah.
where the adventure is going to take place.
But that's the whole thing with the trader, right? Is you bring stuff from far away to
Yeah.
people who don't normally have access to it, right?
Yes, indeed. So would this be your first foray into lands that far away?
I think so. Whether by choice or not, I think he's probably stayed in his little part of the continent.
Okay. Yeah, and there was a high storm that uncovered ruins, and essentially there's an expedition to investigate what is left of those ruins. So if that helps inform your position as well, it may or may not. Again, if you're just in the bridge crew, if you happen to get imprisoned because of a black market thing gone wrong, maybe a misinterpretation of local customs, something like that.
Yeah. I
A lot of things could
exposed
have happened.
a
Yeah.
woman's left hand.
Right, yeah. Again,
Uh,
one of those other little details, like I love those. I was reading that and how like the lower classes or in more informal situations, it might just be a glove instead of the whole sleeve.
Right.
God, I love
I
little
always
details like that.
I always thought of it like the difference between like women who wear like big floofy dresses versus women who wear like leggings.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's like if you wear just a glove, it's like, well, you come on, you could still see basically everything, right? Are you even really wearing anything?
How much more is
And if
left
you
to the
and if you put it in a
imagination?
sleeve, yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I definitely like where that is building. For me, I have some maps ready to go and characters already defined by the way of the module.
Sweet.
So I will want to, in the meantime, for my own to-do list, I will get more familiar with your characters' backgrounds and capabilities. I will also to endeavor to push forward the need to be familiar with the magic system as per your intent to embrace that potentially down the road. I will have world info handouts. I've been collecting those in Notepad, going off of like the wiki and stuff. So those will be
Sweet.
available by the time gameplay happens, for referencing like different areas of the world, flora and fauna, that sort of thing. Um,
Sweet.
and of course, I'll put a hefty focus in Alethkar, since that is where things are starting off, at least. But your own homelands as well, I want to be familiar with customs. So Mayor Bethia will be on my list. Where again is the homeland of the Horn Eaters?
If you look under where it says Yakaved, in big letters there, it's north of or northwest of Alifkar. Um, it is in the mountains there, Horneater Peaks.
Okay, so kind
Yep,
of just in general along that vein.
Oh,
yep.
they have
And
all the
then
hot springs too.
yep. If you look in there, they've got little hot springs all over the place.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty big hot springs if they can be seen from orbit. All right, cool. So making some notes here for my own to do. All right, well, since you guys are familiar enough, have already gone forward with character creation there. One note too, as we play through, because everything is still introductory, once we get to the end of the adventure, if there's any kind of respecking that we want to discuss, I will be open to that. If you say
Sweet.
like, hey, I think it better fits my character, or I didn't realize how useless or how more useful insert skill name here would be, we
Hmm.
can do some tweaks there. So bear that in mind as we're going along and you're encountering situations like, oh, I wish I'd taken a rank in that skill. You can fulfill that
Mhm.
wish. We can talk and see when we get to the end of that there.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, I like to be flexible and open, especially with a system that's new to all of us. Um, I think that we have covered everything on my side that I wanted to address. I really, really appreciate both of your enthusiasm for the setting and system here. Are there any questions, concerns, anything to address on your side?
Mm, I don't
Not that I
think
can
so.
think of.
Yeah, it's hard to know, just because I didn't read anything about the module. So I just assume any questions that I have will, I'll just ask as they come up.
Fair enough, yeah. It's always better for everything to be kind of spoiler free. In the instance
Yep.
of, like, if you're planning on running the Stonewalker's adventure, you'll be privy to things uh, if and when we get to
Sure.
that bridge to cross. But again, I'm not worried about that. It's kind of like if people have played through the Curse of Strahd a couple of times, play it again. Who cares? Like things can go differently. Characters influence things differently. So I am again not worried about that out of game knowledge. Plus, you guys, having read the books, know about certain interactions, certain character traits. There might be an NPC where you're like, oh, this motherfucker. Like, not this one. And stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Fully embrace out of game comments in character. And again, we're all adults. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't need to know, but um, definitely try to keep like in character reactions separate from player knowledge and reactions.
Right.
Kind of goes without saying, but just put it out there. All right. Well, last call on any final comments, concerns, anything to add, anything you guys feel like I should look into or address that hasn't been brought up, something that would be beneficial to making the world immersive, other than, of course, reading the books, which is on my
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
my to-do
say.
list.
That's a big ask.
Yeah, it's a lot to do in just a couple of days. Uh,
Yeah, I've got the week ahead. Like I said, I am relying on the books and YouTube videos to inform the world. I could even do. I know there's a couple. I haven't gone with those yet, just to avoid very specific spoilers. But there's like plot synopses and stuff where they kind of review
Oh
specific
yeah,
books or the whole series.
I don't even want you to do that. We can fill in the gaps. You should experience it like it's meant to be.
Fair
yeah,
enough, fair enough. I appreciate that as I mean, obviously we're all fantasy readers and can appreciate that sentiment.
I don't think I can think of anything.
All right, cool, cool. Well then, to reiterate, we should then plan to convene next Saturday. That is the 23rd. Does this time frame work for you guys? Would you like to start earlier or later? Even if it's
This
just
is.
an hour or two, like I'm wide
Do
open,
you
so
have any idea how long your sessions would generally go once gameplay begins?
I like to keep sessions as close to 3 hours as I can. Um, I don't mind going over if somebody has to work the next day. I try to be conscious of that and come to a good fade to black moment if we have to, in media
Hmm.
res, kind of postpone. But yeah, I prefer a 3 hour block is kind of perfect.
Sweet. I think this is good for now. Like long term, Saturdays can be volatile, of course, but for now, the next
yeah,
few weeks, I'm good.
Okay.
yeah. I definitely was more interested in something during the week. Yeah, Saturdays you got so many plans. You're traveling, going to see this person, that person, whatever. So
Right.
during the week I have to work, so I'm definitely gonna be here.
Um, so given that thought, let's see, upcoming this Wednesday, I have filled, but Wednesday is kind of currently set as an open day for makeup sessions or what have you. Um,
Yeah, into
if both of you are open
September.
to it, we could transition to Wednesdays. And yeah, like starting next month, we could go starting Wednesdays on the 3rd and move forward with that if there aren't objections, if that would be an
Yep.
easier thing for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think those are generally clear for me.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Oh, I did have a question. Payment.
Oh yeah,
When?
we need to give you money.
Um, I am not going to charge for session 0 because I think that's silly and I like introductions. And if either of you guys were to be like, well, this doesn't sound fun, so peace, I don't want to charge you for that. Um, Sessions are at 20 per game. That's where, too, some of that weekly or bi-weekly considerations come in. Um,
Sure.
So I guess it would be 40 for the remainder of the month, and then 80 going into the next month. I was looking ahead. There's no charge for extra sessions. So in November, oh, that was based on Saturday though. I would have to recheck. In October, you'll have a bonus session just because of the way the calendar falls. So there's no
Oh
charge
yeah.
if it goes over in that way.
Oh, so you
I
just
just
assume
I calculate
4
sessions
weeks
for
a
the
month,
month. Yeah,
or four sessions, or
yeah.
however that works. 4 weeks a month, and if there's an extra week, then it's a bonus week.
It looks like you will get one in December as well.
I clean pools for a living, and it's the
Oh,
same
did I
deal.
lose you? Oh,
Cool,
oh,
cool.
oh.
We lose Joe? Oh,
Oh no.
oh no.
And he's back.
There he
I'm
is.
back. Something weird happened. I was just asking. So, you assume 4 weeks a month,
Yeah.
and if there's a fifth week, then it's just bonus.
Yep. Free bonus.
Okay.
I
Sweet.
suppose. So for right now, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you want to do both the remainder of this month and next month together, I do keep note of that. So you're welcome to pay ahead. That of course helps me with like rent right now, but no obligation. So
Yeah.
let me send. I'll just send my email out. Might already have it, but just to reiterate it.
And is that what's the form of payment?
PayPal.
Okay, sweet. Just making sure.
So this month 40, next
Next
month
80. So if all at once, it's
80,
120.
120. Okay, let's do that.
And then, yeah, as soon as I see that, I put into my notes where everybody's covered. That
Perfect.
makes it easy for everybody. All right. I
All right, it's on
am
your way.
so excited to dive into this. Um, the other games that I'm playing, like all of them are worlds that I already know, and that has a fun into itself, but it's invigorating for me, like creatively, gets the wheels spinning. My hamster is just high on life right now because it's fun info dump and greater informs a world that, yeah, I really look forward to diving in. And again, I appreciate so much the enthusiasm you guys have for it too. Like we can play off of each other, and the other player, if they join, hopefully they too express being familiar with the world. So
I
for
have a hard
those
time
who are,
believing that somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, Cosmere, that sounds fun. I have no idea what that is, but let's do it." Right?
I've got a real life buddy I'm forcing to play who has no idea what's going on.
Oh, really? That'll be fun. That's crazy.
that is cool. Have them play a character from Shinovar because then they'd be more familiar with grass that just stands up regular and like chickens and
Yep.
Yeah.
stuff.
I was
Like,
gonna do that or a World Hopper.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The greater cosmology of Cosmere is has been the lowest on my list of priorities of stuff. Like I recognize there are other worlds and things and stuff going on. And
Sure.
because it's less relevant to where we're at, I'm like, okay, I'll get there eventually. For right now, just so I don't
Sure.
get distracted. I'm one of those like squirrel, something shiny, and take a tangent.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I don't think really any very much like other worlds don't matter very much till later in the series anyway.
Yeah.
But it's still totally self-contained. It makes sense without reading the rest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Even through the fifth book, they don't talk about, or they don't link any of the other worlds necessarily. They just sort of mention that there are other worlds.
Yeah, there's like heavy-handed, not heavy-handed, that's bad wording. There's heavy Easter eggs that are really nice if you understand, but it's not like that information is not useless if you don't have that information. It's still useful to the Stormlight.
Oh, okay. Well, I like Easter eggs like that. It'll be fun. Again, when I'm familiar with that greater cosmology and stuff, it is for me going to make the books fun to read because it'll be a different approach for sure than what you guys had coming into it fresh. But just having that outside knowledge, like if somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Ja Kaved," I'll know what that means instead of being reading the book like, "What in the hell are they talking about?"
Right.
Alrighty. Well then, if that is all, I will let you be free to your lives. I have lots of reading and watching to do, and that's exciting. In the meanwhile, feel free to write either directly or in the Cosmere channel. If there's little things and stuff that you want to throw out or clarify, anything like that. Everything is open for discussion, so don't hesitate if anything springs to mind.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Yep, super excited. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, thank you guys for being here and contributing, and yeah, I'm definitely excited. So look forward to again for the remainder of the month. We'll do Saturday, and then starting on the 3rd, we will switch over to Wednesdays in September.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. Well then, you guys have an awesome evening. I will close down and see you guys on the other side.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Have
All
a
right.
good one.
See ya.
All right, have a good one.
Yep. Bye.